Bani Khoshnoudi, director of Luciérnagas, which is playing now here in Fortaleza and Cine Ceará.
First of all, it was a great pleasure to see a movie of an Iranian director in Mexico with a international co-production that talks about gay issues, LGBTQ issues. So how was it to try to talk about this theme and to elaborate it? Was there researches to do the part and etc.?
Yes. Yes, I'm Iranian and I've been living in Mexico 10 years now. This is my first film in Mexico and I wanted definitely to have something from my country and my culture in Mexico, and also in a way to be able to speak about such a mix of people who live in Mexico, like in many countries and here in Brazil as well, that come from different origins, and sometimes we don't know this about them, but if you look back, their families came at a certain point for various reasons, as migrants or just to work, and this mix of cultures. So this was something very important for me. And the second part of your question?
The gay theme and the LGBTQ word.
The research.
Investigation.
Sorry. Yes, in order to make the film, once I had selected, this topic and the main character, I went to Turkey to meet different people who had left Iran because of their sexual preference. And there I was fortunately able, with the help of some people working in an association to help LGBTQ migrants, and especially from Iran, to kind of settle there and have political asylum to go to some other country. There I was able to meet many people, men, women, trans, transvestite and transsexual. So there I spent 1 week doing interviews and speaking to people who told me all the reasons why they left and what difficulties they had back in Iran, and also as migrants, what difficulties they came up against. So many times it was not because of the limitations to live in Iran because of the political situation or because of the government, but many times because of their families. So they felt obliged to leave, to be able to be themselves somewhere else. And this quest for just the freedom to be who they want and who they are was something really inspiring for me.
There is a beautiful and poetic melancholy and some silence in the movie of the character. Was there a construction of the background, a textual construction maybe, to have that inner silence in the character? He knew more than we knew of the screenplay.
Yes, in many ways. I mean, silence and what happens in the silence is very important for me. What sound communicates for us, what colors and the light and the texture within his room, for example, what that can communicate for us. Melancholy is something quite natural for me, coming from a country that also lives a collective melancholy because of many reasons. I think it's historical, but I think it's also political, our silence and what we have been up against and how we survive and continue to maintain our culture and our beliefs and our love for life within different situations. And this is something that I like to put in my films, not just this film. It's something that I work on a lot, and I think it's also something everyone can share, a feeling of melancholy and nostalgia, and it can also be poetic. It's a moment where each person is quiet and silent within himself or herself. And yes, I think that within this silence is a lot of meaning that we can all put there.
It's beautiful to see that in the picture, because we also have a co-protagonist that is more than just a sidekick, that is a strong female character, and you are a strong female director. So how was it to build it with a great Mexican actress?
Yes, I'm happy that you say she's strong, because sometimes people see it and say, oh, this woman who was left behind and who has, you know, nothing, and she also wants to leave, and it's actually not true. She's the only character in the film that doesn't want to leave, and there's many reasons why she doesn't want to leave. I think she's determined, she's not forced to stay, but it's a decision on her part, and she's the strongest character for me in the film. She's the one who knows who she is and what she wants, and who will not let go of that. And it doesn't mean that it's easy, but she's very clear about this. Edwarda Gurrola, the actress, is also a very, very strong woman in real life, and I think the decisions she makes, the way she works, also reflects this. And I was very attracted to her as an actress for this reason, because I felt that she gives this presence, this physical and emotional presence to my character that was very important. So we don't see her as a victim necessarily. I mean, we are all victims at some point, but when you transform that into determination, it was very important for me. And she's a pillar in the film. She's actually the person who gives hope to Ramin in terms of, you know, it's not about not feeling sadness or feeling desperation, which we also see her in this moment of desperation and frustration and being let down. But she's strong. She's strong. She shows her emotion, but she takes a decision to make her life different.
I was very interested also in your words about making it more fictional, because you come from a documentary background. So how was it to mix the languages?
Yes, I've made documentaries, and also my first fiction, which is a short film called Transit. I made it with asylum seekers from Afghanistan, Iran, and Kurdistan, and it's a fictionalized tale of them, how they've crossed through Europe and are now in Paris, figuring things out. And that it's also a form that I like to explore, this mix of documentary and fiction. But for this film, I wanted to work more on these themes of melancholy, nostalgia, love, is emotional things that are quite difficult to touch, and I wanted to have an approach that's much more constructive, much more aesthetic, and it was a doubt I had about using non-actors, but I decided really early on that I wanted to make this break from this gray area of docufiction and go more towards something completely constructed.
And last but not least, the colors of the movie is almost a painting. The bedroom and the apartment, but also the exterior. How was it to make the texture of the colors?
Yes, with my photographer, we worked with many references from Baroque paintings. It was really important for me to find this chiaroscuro context, especially in the bedroom and within context of the cities, to use the darkness and the light in a way that accentuated the texture of the bodies and also the texture of the room and the buildings, which are already very colorful in themselves in Veracruz, but painting was a big reference for us, Baroque painting.
Oh, I forgot just one quick thing, but the female Iranian directors are some kind of an influence. Also, Samira and Hannah Makhmalbaf and all of the directors that breaks the problems that it is to filming in Iran.
I mean, I'm influenced by many different types of cinema. A lot of Asian cinema, Iranian cinema, of course. For me, the most important Iranian female director is Rakhshan Bani Etemad, from her vision of people and the way she observes people and puts them in her films. is very important for me. There's definitely a tradition there that I feel close to. But I have to say that I'm very influenced by Ingmar Bergman, Pasolini in a different way, not the form but more the context, and a lot of Asian cinema, which I find there's a lot of things that are not said as well or not clear, that I like this gray area where we can, feel with our own desires.
Thank you again. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.